series of races will be the competition for Top Gas Eliminator. Now, the cars used in these competitions are specially built for the quarter-mile acceleration. They're the dragsters, but they're using pumped gasoline. And it's amazing what they can do with these finely tuned machines, accelerating up to speeds almost 200 miles an hour and going through the quarter-mile distance in slightly over 8 seconds. Should be a tremendously competitive event, and I see that they're about to get underway with the first race. And lined up on the line, it's Pete Robinson in number 47, the 1962 Top Eliminator from Atlanta, Georgia, and Harold Amix from Westminster, California, in car number 73. Robinson on the far side, that's Pete right there, a terrific competitor, and he came on with a big surprise back in 1962, and they're away. Notice the tremendous smoke as they get traction with those rear wheels. The race to the finish line is going to be very close, and the winner is Harold Amix of Westminster, California, with a speed of 184.42 miles per hour. Sometimes these drivers look a little like men from outer space, and here's Bob Keith from San Jose, California, to tell us why.
Well, in the first place, we wear an asbestos fire suit. This, in case of an engine blow-up, we don't get burnt. It's made out of an asbestos material, and there's several different companies that make them, and they've sure helped save a lot of people's lives.
You have some other articles also, Bob.
Yes, sir. We have goggles. These are more or less an aircraft-type goggles. They've got a shatterproof lens in case of flying objects. And then we also have an asbestos glove, which is made out of the same material as the fire suit, with the exception of the inside, which are made out of leather so we can grip the steering wheel. And then we have the crash helmet, or as we say in drag racing, a skid lid or brain bucket, and this has saved an awful lot of people's lives also. The most important item, as far as I'm concerned, is the face mask. This will, in case of a fire, keep you from getting your face burned. It is made out of the asbestos, and it also is lined inside to keep the heat out. The asbestos alone will keep the fire out, but not the heat, so this is why they are lined in the inside.
How warm is it inside all this?
It gets pretty warm when the sun comes out like it is today.
And when the competition is tough. I know you want to get back to that race. You're competing in the competition for Top Gas Eliminator. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
No, it's not Ringo Starr. It's Jerry Caudle of Chicago, Illinois, driving dragster number 110, a rather unusual helmet. I think you'll have to agree. But he also is wearing the face mask and the goggles and the fire-protective gloves. Caudle is racing against George Bolthoff, and they're away, and Bolthoff is taking the lead quickly. And a sizable win by George Bolthoff in a Chrysler-powered machine with a speed of 181.80 miles per hour. This is the first round of Top Gas Eliminator, the final division, and we'll be moving into the semifinals, but now we have one more race left in this round. It'll be Jimmy Nix of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, versus Ron Colson of Oregon, Illinois. Number 8 is Jimmy Nix. There's Ron Colson. They're away, but Colson fouled. You notice the timing lights, and it would indicate a foul. Colson is fouled, so Nix automatically will be the winner. Nix backed off the minute he realized that Colson had fouled. Colson's speed was 166, but he is the loser, and so Nix will go into the semifinals. And we'll have the semifinals for Top Gas Eliminator coming up in just a moment from Pomona, California.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is a new bill before Congress now that could provide the best answer to health care for people over 65 who need help. It is called the Herlong-Curtis Elder Care Bill, a voluntary health protection program financed and implemented through federal state funds. Elder care could offer better care than Medicare. Here's why. Both would cover hospital and nursing home charges, but elder care would provide for physician services. Medicare would not. Elder care would provide for surgical care. Medicare would not. Elder care would provide for drugs in hospital and at home. Medicare would not. And elder care would cost taxpayers less. It would not use your tax dollars to provide benefits for the wealthy. It would help only those who need help, and it would not require a new payroll tax. Write your congressman now. Urge him to support elder care. For further information, contact the American Medical Association, Chicago.
Ready now for the semifinals of the Top Gas Eliminator competition. Number 8 is Jimmy Nix from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Number 43, George Wolkoff from Pomona, California. Notice how the dragster leaped into the air as he was getting tremendous traction on the rear wheels, and Wolkoff has fouled. He's leading, but Jimmy Nix is going to be the winner. Wolkoff's speed, 181.44 miles per hour, but he got off the line too quickly. Now the other semifinal event, Gordon Collette from Portsmouth, Ohio, racing against Harold Amix from Westminster, California. Collette in number 13, Amix in number 73. Study of concentration as he watches those lights, and they're away. It looks like Collette is having trouble, but Amix is roaring on to the finish line, and the winner is Harold Amix with a speed of 184.04 miles per hour. It appears to be quite a thrill to drive one of these high-powered racing machines. Let's take a look at how it looks from the dragster's point of view. Our special camera has been mounted on the front axle. You'll notice how much he moves his hand. He has very slow steering, so he will not overcorrect. Moving toward the finish line, and he pops his parachute for braking action. All dragsters are equipped with parachutes. Now we get another view over the driver's shoulder. Notice the white line down the drag strip. He tries to keep it on that white line, and he uses that for steering. He doesn't have much time, and he is at the finish line and starts to slow down. Braking is very important, and he must do it very delicately or he'll throw his machine out of control. Now we're ready for the finals of the Top Gas Eliminator competition. It's Jimmy Nix and Harold Amix. That's the machine of Jimmy Nix from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Harold Amix. Amix is in number 73 from Westminster, California. And they're away. They used a flag start. The lights didn't work. That was a bit of a surprise to them, but Nix is moving out. Amix closing the gap, but he's going to be too late. The winner is Jimmy Nix with an elapsed time of 8 5/55 seconds, a speed of 179.28 miles per hour. Actually, Amix was going faster at the finish, but he was too far behind. Now let's talk to the winner. Jimmy, that was a wonderful run. Congratulations to you.
Thank you, Charlie.
Did it bother you at all to go back to the old style of starting with the flag rather than the light?
Well, it was a little bit of a surprise. It caught me, a little unaware of what was going on, really. I was just surprised, when the lights didn't work, the malfunction, and then they had the flag, and it was a surprise.
Did you get off to a good start?
I think so. I think we got off to a good start.
It was a pretty close race all the way where you can turn at any time down the way.
Wow, I was really worried from, the word go.
Now, you've had some pretty good times in previous nationals, but you've had some hard luck.
Well, that's right. I had low ET here at this same race last year, and then low ET at Indianapolis at the Summer Nationals. And
what happened that you didn't win?
Well, I foul started up there, got a red light, and then I broke the motor here last year.
Well, you didn't break anything this year, but records for yourself and the hearts of the other competitors. Congratulations to you.
Thank you a lot, Charlie.
Jimmy Nix, the Top Gas Eliminator. I'm sure it's quite a bit warmer here in Pomona than it is in Aspen, and as a matter of fact, the competition is getting very hot right now. Back at Pomona, California for the Winter Nationals, we have the next event coming up, the runoff for Competition Eliminator. Now, a competition car has been built specifically for the acceleration through the quarter mile, built especially for drag racing. But the thing that differentiates the competition cars from the dragsters is the fact that they started with some existing car. Now, they've made a lot of alterations, made a lot of changes, and they have built rails, and they look very much like dragsters, but at least the start was an existing car, and they can get up to fantastic speed. So it's the runoff for Competition Eliminator, and they're about to get underway. Once again, in this classification, it's on a handicap system. That's Pete Schattinger in number 96 from Vineland, New Jersey, in a 48 Buick-powered car. Kay Sissel in number 302 from Rosemead, California, driving a 23 Model T powered by a GMC engine. This should be an interesting race. That's Sissel. He took a 23 Model T body and put a GMC engine on his rails. They're away. You notice the difference because of the handicapping. It's going to be a close race, halfway down. And all the way to the finish, and it's Pete Schattinger, the winner, with a speed of 117.03 miles per hour. So he'll move into the semifinals in the runoff for Competition Eliminator. Now here is last year's world champion in this class, Charlie Smith. Smith hails from Oklahoma City. He's got a 23 Model T powered by a 64 Chevrolet engine. Notice he wears the face mask, and he is all concentration as he's ready to go. Watching his RPM indications, he'll be running against Danny Brown of Denver, Colorado. And they're away. Smith fishtailed just a little bit as they got away, but he gets it under control, and he's leading. In a very close race, Charlie Smith, the winner, with a speed of 147.05 miles per hour. Now we have Roy Spradling. Spradling hails from California, and Frank Smith, Charlie's brother from Oklahoma City, is in this competition with a car that looks very much like a dragster. He started with a 23 Ford and put a 64 Chevrolet engine in it. Frank Smith versus Roy Spradling, and it's Frank Smith well out in front, and he is the winner with a speed of 154.63 miles per hour. He'll move into the semifinals along with Chico Bruscini, who drew a bye. Standing by waiting for their opportunity to face the timer at the starting line, a very important team in the competition eliminator class, the team of Davis and Ingram. Wes Ingram on my far right, who is the crew chief, and Joe Davis, the driver from San Jose, California, and they have a very interesting car in this competition. And how do you feel about your chances, Joe?
Real good.
Tell us about the car now. It's a 1937 Fiat, but it's been changed from its original conception in Italy. Wes, what are the major things you've done to it?
Well, the body is completely changed. The wheelbase is moved up. The front axle is moved up. The engine is set back 25% of the wheelbase. And, of course, much more horsepower.
Now, speaking of horsepower, the car appears to be all engine. What kind of an engine do you have in there, and how much horsepower does it produce?
It's a 1964 Chevrolet 327 to start with. It's stroked out to 364. Has a GMC 671 supercharger with Hillborn injectors.
When you say stroked out, you mean you've just enlarged the engine. You've made it a bigger engine. Now, I noticed that the wheels are very small in front. Why is this?
Well, they allow a certain size wheel, and we stay within what the rules allow. The smaller wheel is all that's really necessary on the front.
Why is a smaller wheel necessary?
Well, it isn't necessarily that the small wheel on the front is necessary as much as the large wheel on the back. It just makes it look odd. Actually, well, weight, for one thing, you can get by with less weight with a small wheel. The big thing is that it looks much smaller because of the back wheel being so big.
I guess you might say this car has been built for acceleration, and how fast will it accelerate?
Well, our best is 149.25, which was last week, and our best CT is 978.
Looks like you've got a real going combination here. Good luck to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now into the semifinals for competition eliminator. Pete Schattinger from Vineland, New Jersey against Chico Bruscini, who hails from Concord, California. That's Schattinger we just saw. They're both in dragsters, and Schattinger had slightly the better of it on the start because of the handicap difference. The question whether Bruscini can make up the ground. Bruscini's coming on, and he just nipped Schattinger at the finish line. His speed was 146.57 miles per hour. Now we have a special duel in the other semifinal match, the two brothers, Charlie and Frank Smith. That's Charlie Smith, last year's world champion and competition eliminator. And here's his brother Frank. His brother Frank is driving a car that is in the competition classification, A competition, and Charlie Smith has an A Alder. Smith's car, a 23 Ford with a 64 Chevy. And Frank fouled on the start. He was so eager to beat his brother that he fouled. He's leading, but he will be the loser, and Charlie Smith will go into the final. Here's Smith's speed, 144.69 miles per hour, and Charlie Smith will go in against Chico Bruscini in the finals, and that'll be coming up in just a moment from Pomona, California.
Good times call for good taste, and that means Winston. When you change to Winston, you change for good, for the good taste that comes from Winston's filter blend tobaccos, specially selected for the best taste in filter smoking. Change to Winston, and change for good, for the good taste of America's largest selling filter cigarette by far.
Winston tastes good like it should. Change to Winston and change for good. 'cause Winston tastes good like a cigarette should.